Welcome back to another one of my videos. On today's story time, I'm going to go back to my first ever modeling contract in Dubai. This video is about the time where me and my friends got stuck in the desert for many hours. Me and my friends were modeling for about a couple of months in Dubai, and this happened on the last day of our contract. We were due to fly back home that evening. Our flight was around 11 o'clock at night. However, we wanted to make the most of our time there and wanted to experience as much as we can. So we went and had an adventure out in the desert. But let's start from the beginning. We were spending the evening in one of the restaurants in the resort, and there was me and my other friends that I was modeling with. And we had a pretty boring evening, nothing much was going on. We were having dinner outside. There was a group of boys and girls, I think there was 3 boys and 1 girl at one of the tables opposite us, and they seemed to have a lot of fun. So they were laughing and having a good time. Every now and again we would look over to their table, and eventually they asked us if we wanted to join them, and we did. I wish I could say we still keep in touch, but unfortunately that's not the case. But it's such a shame because we really enjoyed each other's company. There were 3 boys and 1 girl that we became really good friends with. We would spend a lot of time together. We would go shopping, we would go out to restaurants and drinks. We've even been invited to their houses for barbecues and stuff like that. So we would hang out quite a lot. So we were quite close, and they were really great people. On our last day of the contract, we decided that we wanted to go out and explore the dunes. One of the boys came with the idea because him and his friend had 4x4 cars. They were geared up for adventures in the desert, and they assured us that they've done this before, so they knew what they were doing, so we were safe with them. We obviously told them that, you know, our flight is in the evening, so we do need to come back to the hotel and just grab our bags, so we can't spend too much time there. But they seemed to know what they were doing, so we completely trusted them. We woke up really early in the morning. I believe we were awake about 6 o'clock, so we had all of the stuff ready at the hotel, all of our luggage. So all we needed to do is just come back and pick up our stuff, and we could just leave for the airport. We got picked up by the 2 guys, and we were ready to go. To get to the desert, it took not very long, but I remember, well, probably it would take maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, because there was a specific place that they wanted to go. We were there. It was, obviously sun was shining. By the way, this was in December time, so the weather wasn't too hot. I would say probably around 28 degrees, but it was beautiful. I really enjoyed this sort of exciting adventures that I don't get to do on a day-to-day basis. And I knew as soon as I get home, it's an opportunity that I don't get to have every day. I mean, it's not like I live in the middle of the desert, so it's something that I really wanted to do. We got there and quite a few people gathered. There wasn't just us and our friends, but a big group of other people with their 4x4s. And we had food with us. We had a little camp set up where we could spend hours, and with music and all of that. So it was a lot of fun. I absolutely loved it. We were up and down the dunes, going quite fast. It was such a great experience. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done this before, but there's nothing like it. When you drive onto the dunes, you literally slide down, and it feels like you're floating. As the 2 boys were driving up and down the dunes, we were watching them, and they seemed to have a lot of fun. We've noticed that one of them got caught in one of the sinkholes in the desert. So actually they mentioned this as we were driving there, that they have to be very careful, because if you get caught in one of those holes in the desert, you can be there for hours, and it's so hard to get out of it. It could basically mean that the car could get swallowed into the sand, so it's very dangerous. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. The car didn't get swallowed completely, however, one of the cars got caught in, and the driver couldn't get out of it, and they kept trying. So we sort of sat there and looked at them and walked down to see if there's anything that we can help. And the guy said, "Can you grab someone else to tow him out of the sand?" That's what they tried to do. They got a tow strap attached to the car that got stuck in the sand to his friend's car. They carried on dragging him as much as they could, and this was going on for a few minutes now. He kept trying to tow him out and drag him out of the sand. As this was going on, one of the straps came out and smashed his friend's window. That was very instant, and the friend's car got stuck as well. So now we had two cars stuck in the desert, and we looked at each other and thought, oh my god, we are going to get stuck here for hours. Obviously our first instinct was feeling so sad for the friends, because two cars were stuck in the sand. One of the back window was completely smashed when the metallic bit hit the window, and we started to get a little bit worried. We now were about an hour into the incident, and it started to get slightly darker outside, and although there was quite a few of us there, we were thinking, I don't know if we were going to be able to catch our flight anymore. Our flight was scheduled for around 11 o'clock in the evening, and I think it was probably about 6 o'clock at this point. I think our main concern was getting to the plane, but also thinking, are we actually going to end up spending our night in the desert? So we're 2 hours in the incident, and we were laying there on the sand just thinking, how are we gonna get away with this? How are we actually gonna get home? Because we didn't pay for the ticket. The tickets were already paid for. I was a 16-year-old going on 17. All of the flights and the accommodation and everything was paid for within our contract. It was quite a worrying experience because we couldn't just go ahead and buy our own ticket. So the agency actually didn't know that we were in the desert. They thought that we were just at the hotel. So we had a lot of explaining to do. We didn't tell anyone where we were. If anyone had to get hold of us, they wouldn't have been able to. We had one mobile phone that we had with us, but we didn't have any signal, so there was no way of anyone contacting us. We had someone picking us up to drive us to the airport at a certain time. No one would have known where we are. Our parents would have killed us. And we're sitting there and thinking, how are we gonna get out of this? Literally. At this point, the third driver attempts to help the two others. So they strap the car to each other and start pulling, and they pull and they pull and they pull, and eventually one of the cars gets out, and then the same guy goes and helps the first guy that got stuck, and he pulls and pulls and pulls, and thank God they get him out as well. We literally jumped in the car, rushed out of the desert as fast as we could, obviously not too fast, and we drove back to the hotel. I clearly remember we went into our rooms in the hotel, grabbed our bags, not even had a shower or anything, and just jumped into the taxi and went to the airport. We had no time for anything. As exciting as it was sort of scary as well, because we just didn't know what was going to happen, but I wouldn't give this experience for anything. It was a lot of fun, and also I had a story to tell at the end of the day. Obviously I felt so sorry for the guy's car, you know, getting damaged. They didn't seem too worried about it. They were just happy to have a good time and a cool story to tell. This is it from me today. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have any similar experiences that happened to you, you're either been out in the desert or you got stuck or caught up somewhere, please let me know in the comments below. If you want to find out more about my modeling experiences, I have another video that you could watch. It's called Storytime, My Modeling Experience. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, share if you want to do so. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.